It's been a while since I said let's watch something together, so let's watch a little something together.
Workforce, and I think you've discussed somehow a program of people leaving on a sponsorship and coming right back. Can you give us a little more detail about that and why, in the view of some hardliners, it's not amnesty?
Take care of our farmers and hotel workers and various other people, and we're working on it right now, and Ron's going to be involved, and you're involved already. So we have a lot of cases where ICE will go into a farm, and these are guys working there for 10, 15 years, no problem.
Now, we all know this man lies and contradicts himself, but you heard he said they've been working there for 10 to 15 years. No problems. You guys heard that, right? Let's keep going.
The farmers know them. We're going to put, it's called farmer responsibility or owner responsibility.
This man said owner responsibility. Owner of human beings. Okay.
They've worked on the farms for 15 years, and all of a sudden
And all of a sudden, what, Donnie? All of a sudden, what?
So I have a great, Ron does, Christy does, we have a great feeling for the farmer and for others in the same position. And we're going to give them responsibility for people. And we're going to have a system of signing them up so they don't have to go. They can be here legally. They can pay taxes and everything else. They're not getting citizenship, but they get other things. And the farmers need them to do the work. Without those people.
One more clip to show you, but before that man, we know that he lies and he contradicts himself. So when he said, and all of a sudden about the workers on the farms, and he recognized that he was going to say all of a sudden that it had been no problem in those 10 or 15 years, but then all of a sudden, because all of a sudden came him. All of a sudden, he became the problem. All of a sudden, he's the villain. In addition to that, he's talking about the farmers and other people in those positions. So he's essentially saying, if you currently have somebody working for you who you think might be undocumented or is undocumented, you can go ahead and keep them. You can go ahead and have your ownership responsibility for them as long as they go back to that concentration camp. So he's essentially discussing a work release program that is slavery because the people will have ownership responsibility. And in addition to the slavery on this guy's mind, because he can't stop thinking about slavery, one more clip.
Thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves.
The babies of slaves. There's not much else to say about that. I mean, he's just making himself so obvious. There's no mask on at all. I will remind you once again that everything that you're seeing right now, everything that he's doing as a response to his feeling that people are deplorable, the people that he does not deem worthy of living in this country, all of these things are coming from anti-Blackness. They're all rooted in anti-Blackness. He's getting these ideas of what to do from things that have been done to Black Americans. Ownership responsibility, that is so cut and dry. That is so cut and dry. So these things that he's setting up, he's going back in history and thinking, what did they do to the Blacks before? Let's see if I can duplicate that. What a mess.
Let's talk about something that honestly doesn't sound or even feel real. In an interview on Fox News, Donald Trump was proposing something called an ownership responsibility model for immigrant farm workers. If you guys know, recently they have been sending off these illegal immigrants as claimed, and you guys know they are the ones who work the most on the farm. And farmers have been out there crying that they have nobody to work for them. It's even to a point where they were expecting, Black people to pick up the book and come on their farm to come work for them. So basically, he's suggesting that the farmers who have undocumented immigrants working for them for about 10 to 15 years should now be responsible for them. Like, personally, they have to be responsible for them. And that almost sounds decent on the surface. If you think about it, it sounded like, stability for these people, but it is far beyond that, because ownership, that sounded like slavery in a new house, because he literally said that they will be the one to own them. And yes, those are his actual words, which I'm sure you guys have heard in the preview. It sent chills down so many people's spine, because he's not talking about citizenship. He's talking about ownership. These farmers have the right to now own these people, and let's just call it what it feels like. It is like a real bondage. It has been sparking so many conversation and reaction, and And here is what people are saying about the term ownership responsibility that sounded or looked so much like a branded slavery. So without wasting much time, let's get into it.
I know that the goddamn president of the United States did not just get on TV and publicly say and propose slavery with owner responsibility, and we're all just gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Owner responsibility? Are you kidding me? And don't worry, I already hear my mom and grandpa coming. Well, they're not talking about the fact that they own the people. It's that they own the land and they're responsible for the people that are on the land. Are you for real? We have showers for the staff. What about all the other human beings that are going to be there? What about them? I literally cannot believe that I am living in a world that not only this, but an entire genocide where children are literally getting bombed and destroyed daily is an actual thing. Oh, well, they pay them minimum wage. Like, do you hear that? They pay them the bare minimum, what they are required to pay them so that they don't get in trouble. It's not because they want to pay them. It's because they are required by law to pay them. Well, if they would just come here legally, do you understand that the legal way for them to come here, it was made so fucking impossible that they are not able to come here? It is a virtually impossible system for them to actually get through. And if you do get through it, if you have your fucking sanity at the end of it, like, thank God. I mean, I just want to know, like, what are we honestly doing here, people? Because if this is how we treat and value human life, then, I mean, we don't value human life. And I can't imagine living another 10 years when this is the way that we treat human beings. And I'm only 35, so I have a lot more than 10 years to go. The arguments are that they have mats on their bunks and blankets whenever the concentration camps didn't. That's your argument? Like, is this for real? If there is any part of you, and I mean any part of you that supports anything that is going on right now, any genocide, any immigrant being treated like complete and utter shit, any human being treated like complete and utter shit, if you are okay with it, I need you to do, all of us as a collective, a huge favor, and I need you to leave and go to the spirit plane. I need you to just exit. I need you to go, and I need you to maybe come back whenever you've got your shit together, because we don't need you here anymore, because we are trying to evolve. We are trying to move beyond hating each other for no reason. And if you actually think that this is okay, you are not helping. And you've got to go.
Stop the press. Stop the goddamn press. Because ain't no way Donald Trump just said what he always wanted to say out loud. That he is essentially bringing back indentured servants, aka slavery. So he spoke about his intentions for the immigrants while he was visiting Alligator Alcatraz with Ron DeSantis. So he said he was going to allow ICE to walk on these farms, grab the immigrants that have been working on these farms for 10 to 15 years, and take them to Alligator Alcatraz, the concentration camp, and then disperse them back to their owners. Not employers, but owners. It started to get a little muffled, but I think he said they will then be here legally so they can pay taxes, but they won't have citizenship. But then went on to say they will have other things. What are the other things, Trump? But are we shocked? Y'all voted for a man that was endorsed by the KKK. Y'all voted for a man that's trying to bring back slavery. And this is exactly what he meant when he said, make America great again. But y'all didn't want to believe him. Donald Trump said he said what he said. And he's standing on business. And now y'all got to deal with the consequences. Latinos, I hope you are still okay with your vote.
The President of the United States suggested slavery. The leader of the cult that lives and dies under the phrase, make America great again, suggested slavery. Except in his words, he calls it owner responsibility or farmer responsibility. He's at the concentration camp in the Everglades. I can't make this shit up. And he says that they're going to go to farms, arrest the migrants, and instead of deporting them, literally anywhere, the Supreme Court said that he could just send them anywhere. Instead of deporting them, he said they can stay there and work, because how can the farm survive if they don't stay there and work the farm. But he made sure to mention they're not going to get citizenship, and then the owner of the farm will have responsibility over them. Human beings that can't get citizenship and got arrested by ICE, who wears the same type of ski mask that we see people who march in the Proud Boy, white supremacist parades. The same type of ski masks are worn on these ICE agents that don't have to identify themselves, and they're going to round up migrants to work on a farm for an owner to be responsible for them, and they can't leave or get citizenship. That's slavery. Congratulations. Is this what you voted for? They know they can't call it slavery, so they call it owner responsibility. Slave owner, who's responsible for the slaves they own. Owner responsibility of the people who have to work in America to not get citizenship. What are we doing? There's going to be a civil war because that's exactly what happened last time. The president of the United States, the Make America Great Again guy, just suggested slavery under the guise of owner responsibility. That's what they've always meant by Make America Great Again. Y'all are shocked by how many people support this and say, yeah, I voted for this, without accepting that they are the racist that want this shit. They would happily own slaves. How many racist Proud Boy do you think ran to sign up fucking ICE, knowing they could wear a goddamn mask, not have to present any type of paperwork, no warrant, no identification? The people they round up won't get any due process, no trials, nothing. Modern day Gestapo. Hell yeah, identify ICE agents so their names can be known. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's last thing I want to touch on is these people that are talking about, we really got to focus on the younger generation. These younger men, these men in the gym, they're following the right-wing podcasters and they're heavily Trump supporters. All of the young kids, we got to do something. They're so at risk. Stop giving these a pass. These guys 17 to 24 years old enough to know what's going on. You don't need to be some mature, experienced adult to understand that owner responsibility is a term for slavery and all the other shit I could talk about. You don't need to be some genius scholar. Stop giving them a pass like they're just some helpless babies that are going to lean and believe towards whatever is in the media. They know what they're doing. They know what they're supporting. That fraternity full of Trump supporters, they're not swayed by the media and too young to understand what's really, they know what they're supporting. Stop patting them back, treating them like goddamn babies, like they don't know what they're doing. They know they're going to those fucking Charlie Kirk rallies and shit, supporting it. They know what it is. But I guarantee you when football season rolls around, those same racist at that college football stadium cheering for their team. For entertainment. Way back the with Mandingo fighting, used to give niggas hammers, say, fight to the death, or we gonna torture both of y'all for entertainment. So when I see Donald Trump say, oh, we're gonna teach them how to run like this away from alligators to increase their percentage of survival, as if that would be something entertaining. When I see them talk about, oh, we're gonna give them ways to speed track their citizenship, but we're gonna put it on television as a reality TV show for entertainment. Do you see the dots? Do you see the similarities that I refuse to fucking ignore? Unfucking-believable.
What do you guys think? They literally want to keep these immigrants tied to a piece of land, a job, and a person without freedom of movement, without autonomy, and without the true protection under the law. That does not sound like immigration reform. It sounded like indentured servitude or with a little bit of Wi-Fi. And what is even making this whole thing very wild is the fact that they know that there is no way that these farmers are going to survive without the immigrant labor. They know these workers mostly Latinos, undocumented, underpaid, are the backbone of America's agriculture. And instead of paying them more, giving them more rights, or creating even illegal pathway for these people, they want to assign them to the owners of the farm. And now I think a lot of people are seeing the game. It is economic exploitation that is now being dressed up as a policy, as a rule, as a law. This is no longer about helping the immigrant. It is about protecting the businesses, making sure that this labor that they are getting stays cheap, the worker stays quiet as well, and nobody asks for too much. And let's be real, this sounded like something that we have read in the history book. It sounded like plantation. It is giving sharecropper. It is giving you work on this land for decades, but you do not own a damn thing yet. Not your time and not your rights, and even not your own damn body. It is sounding like a system that has been built on convenience when they need workers, when they need immigrants to pick strawberries, slaughter chicken, and landscape the suburbs. These people are essential workers. They are backbone of the economy, but when it's time to give them citizenship or just create a legal pathway for them, suddenly they become illegal. And right now, the orange man is out there pitching something that sounds like slavery. And only this time with a little bit of a shiny and a fancy slogan called the owner responsibility. So yes, people are saying they are not going to be fooled because if it works, talks, acts like oppression, it is definitely oppression. You are not freeing anyone by tying them to one person or a job for survival. That is not responsibility, that is control. Ownership is control over a lot of things, especially when it is a land that you know that it is not their land. A lot of these people need as much right to grow, to, build, to create something for themselves. They put in so much work. They're literally the backbone. Just few months after this, deportation started, these white people were online literally in a group call or something talking about the fact that they were expecting black people to jump into the farm and start picking stuff for them and start working on their farm. They even said they are disappointed that black people were not on the farm or coming to work for them, because when they said they are stealing their job, they think that that is what they are talking about. They were expecting black people to go pick up the boots that has been hung for years and jump into the farm and start working for them. So they are surprised. They thought black people were just waiting somewhere for them to be called back or for the farm to be free enough for them to come back and work. Like, that is something they love to do. Let me hear what you guys think about this ownership responsibility conversation. Let me hear what you think about what all of these people are saying in the comment section. And I am going to see you guys in the next one.